welcome back to Canton Contact. Joining me now to tell us about Canton's upcoming Salute to Service event, which is scheduled to take place at the Village Theater at Cherry Hill next month, are two of the individuals who are involved in the planning. Canton Trustee John Anthony, along with Dr. Lynn Phillips of the Fallen and Wounded Soldiers Fund. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I was very excited to hear that Canton is once again hosting this event. Where and when is it taking place?
November 11th at the Cherry Hill Village Theater. I believe it starts at 6.
At 6 p.m.?
Yes, and it's a free event. It's free to the public.
Oh, excellent. Now, is there a fee to attend this particular event?
No.
Even better. We want the community to come out to a free event.
Yes.
And Mr. Anthony, why is it important that Canton hosts this annual event each year?
Well, it's a way in which Canton can pay tribute to the men and women who have sacrificed a lot for in the service of the country. We've been doing this for at least 5 years that I've been involved in it, and we've tried to pick a different theme every year, and it's amazing the number of veterans that we have here in Canton, and it's just a way in which Phil LaJoy, our Canton supervisor, and the board has authorized the ability to host this event. And it takes some planning. We start planning right after this event. We'll host again. We were lucky enough to get a hold of Lynn, Dr. Lynn, and this year we tried to do a little bit different every year, and we wanted to specifically honor the men and women who have been wounded. And Lynn's organization is one of the fine premier organizations that honor the men and women and help them financially. It's amazing talking with Lynn, the lack of financial aid and support that these men and women get when they're discharged. So this is a way in which we can pay a small tribute to those men and women. The theater is packed. It's amazing. The show is free. It's entertaining. We have some school children that are singers that'll break your heart, the voices. But this year it's a little bit special, a little bit different. We actually have a wounded veteran, a young Marine who lost a leg in Afghanistan. And I spoke to him yesterday. I'm going to have lunch with him, and he just is a unique individual. Lynn knows him a lot better than I do, but I'm anxious to meet him in person and his outlook on life, and he doesn't hold any grudges or regrets. He says he was in the wrong place at the wrong time, married and some children, and just a hero in the truest sense of the word. So we're anxious. This program is going to be, I think, one of our best.
Oh, it definitely sounds like it. And it sounds like the whole family should come out as well.
It is a family event, and we encourage not only veterans, but the community at large. Children come out, and they're really fascinated by the program itself. And like I said, we have the youth choir and it's just a great event and a great way, in a small way, that Canton Township can honor the men and women who have served and are serving in the armed forces.
Absolutely. Now, Dr. Phillips, turning to you, what is the mission of your organization?
Our primary mission is to bridge the financial gap between the time a service member is injured and when their VA benefits begin. Right now, here in Michigan, the waits are a year plus. And oftentimes during this transitional period, they may not have an income. So they are at high risk for foreclosures, car repossessions, they face utility shutoffs, they can't buy groceries. So we have reached out to the various veteran service organizations in the state, the VA hospitals, the clinics, and they are very good at referring to us veterans who need financial assistance.
Oh, how admirable. Now, how long has your organization been around?
We have been operating for 8 years. And during that time, we have raised and distributed solely to Michigan's Iraq and Afghanistan veterans nearly $3 million.
Wow, that is commendable. Now, is it true that your organization is made up of volunteers?
We are all volunteers. None of us are paid. We don't even rent office space. We work out of our homes using our own computers and our iPhones. All our printing is done for free by a very patriotic business owner.
Oh, fabulous.
Yes, we have virtually no overhead.
So it sounds like veterans do face a lot. They continue to have issues and challenges.
Yes, they do. People really don't realize the number of cracks that veterans can fall through. And it's not just that period, that post-discharge period when they're trying to negotiate the VA system to get their benefits. We have veterans, for example, who have serious complications afterwards, sometimes related to the number of medications they're on. We're assisting a veteran now who recently had a stroke last week. He's a Purple Heart recipient. They've yet to diagnose the source of the stroke, but he can't work and he doesn't have VA benefits yet. So we will support his family during this transitional period. We have another vet we're working with who unfortunately had mouth cancer, and the VA is up in the air as to whether or not it's what they call a service-connected disability, whether or not it's related to his deployment. Again, he can't work, he has no income available to him.
So it sounds like you're there for the veteran as well as the family.
Yeah, oh yes.
Now, in terms of the folks at home who are watching, who maybe have not heard about your organization, how can they learn more, or how could they possibly help support your efforts?
Well, they can go to our website, FWSF.org. There's a way to donate online there. They can see the events we have coming up. In fact, this Sunday, I will have a booth out at the Chili Festival, the Chili Cook-Off, and we'll be educating people about the organization and the needs of our veterans. We have our annual spring dinner auction April 12th this coming year at the Suburban Collection Showplace in Novi, and people can attend there. We'll have a speaker, and that's a very well-attended event. We typically get about 1,100 people.
Oh, wonderful. Now, how did you become involved with Canton's Salute to Service event?
Well, they reached out to me as a resource who could direct them to some veterans that they would like to showcase. So I've gotten to know John and Jennifer.
We were looking for something different for the program for this year, and I actually contacted a local businessman, and he put us in touch with the organization. Right away, you know, being a former FBI agent, I've become a little suspicious because you hear so many stories. But I tell you, if you go on the website that Lynn just mentioned, you'll find out that it's a first-rate organization. This dinner that Lynn was talking about in April, it's 1,100 people, and some of the speakers that they get are top-notch speakers. They're not, they're just great individuals who donate their time and talent for this organization. They raised a lot of money. It's actually a shame on all of us as Americans, the way we have treated our veterans. And you just never realize how bad it is until you talk to someone like Lynn and their organization and how they have helped these individuals. Can you imagine being wounded and in a VA hospital, and then they discharge you and you have nothing? I mean, you have nothing. You can't even buy a loaf of bread, and you're dumped on the street. It's actually a shame. So when we found out about Lynn and her organization and about the difficulty that the veterans had, it sounded like a perfect match between her organization and Canton Township, and we're just anxious and looking forward to the presentation. It'll be great.
Absolutely. So we'll hear from one of the soldiers who benefited from your fund. Will be actually at the Salute to Service event.
We're hopeful he'll be there. There's some he has some medical issues to attend to, but I'm going to be having lunch with him on Thursday and see if it's possible to get. We've already taped an interview with him, and in talking to the people who have seen that tape, they just are blown away by this young gentleman and his attitude, and he's just a tremendous individual. And kind of get choked up even thinking about him and what he's gone through, and how he has survived, and the organization like Lynn works her back off. She is an absolutely angel. I mean, if there is a heaven, she's going to be there. I may be a little bit behind her, but but Lynn's going to be there. And it's men and women like Lynn who really make a difference in the lives of the soldiers and sailors and Marines who have sacrificed so much for this country. And we love her. We love her.
Thank you. Oh. We consider it a privilege and an honor to be able to give back to our, and I hesitate to use the term veterans because I don't think it really denotes really what they do and how important they are. I prefer to call them freedom providers because that's really their job description. That's what what they do.
Absolutely. Now, we're almost out of time, but we want everyone in Canton to come out to this wonderful event. Where and when is it taking place again?
November 11th.
Which is Veterans Day.
Yes, at the Village, Cherry Hill Village Theater.
And it's in the evening?
Yes, it's an
Doors
evening
open
event.
at 6 p.m., I understand, and the formal presentation
Yes.
is at 7. And it's free, which is even
Yes,
better.
it's very free.
Oh, well, thank you so much for
Thank
stopping
you for
by
having
and
us.
filling us in on all the details. It sounds like a very wonderful event.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We will be right back with more Canton Contacts.